I'm not sure if you can guess it, but today we are setting up the winter patch. And we're moving one step closer to self-sufficiency by building a greenhouse that hopefully will provide for fresh and organic vegetables throughout the entire year. So let's swing that hammer and let's build the sun house. I have decided last minute to purchase a greenhouse, a polytunnel greenhouse, which is just gonna improve the quality of the vegetables over winter. The greenhouse will just be another great addition to the other terraces that will be used as perennial and also as vegetable gardens. That in the background is the spot of the future greenhouse. As the delivery of the IBC tanks take a bit longer than expected, I think this is just the great in-between project. I've built something like this before. If you watch one of my old videos, you can see it. It's just slightly a smaller version and a bit different in the structure of it. And I will not do a cement border like I did in the one that I built for another farm. For stability, I'm just gonna use those steel bars, which are usually used for concrete reinforcement, but as my ground is pretty loose, which is good for the vegetables but bad for stability, I've decided to create those hooks or those stakes which are going to be strong enough to hold the whole structure in place and, you know, stake it to the ground. I will also use 4 wooden posts in the corners, each of the corners, and attach the frame of the greenhouse to those wooden posts. I'm not sure why I showed that because that's not a wooden post, but you get the idea. It needs to be stable. The winds were crazy. You were right. Guess what? My tent of the caravan flew over, so I took it down and I will probably build a pergola of some sort of, you know, protection out of wood for the future because I'm too scared to put it back up and the winds are really strong indeed. We had almost like a tornado or the end of a tornado here. That was quite a scary night, but yeah, we survived, I survived, the tent survived, but I'm just not gonna put it back up. That's too risky for me at this point. And yeah, anyway, that's another project. But today, building this wonderful little sun house. And I'm also very curious to see what the ground looks underneath. Tarp, I think, has been here for a few weeks now, with a lot of sunshine, also a lot of rain, so it has been a mixture of both. Yeah, let's see what it looks like underneath. Starts to take a bit of a shape. I placed it already there where I really want it, at the end of the patch. It almost looks like a greenhouse. That's gonna make things easier. You know, I like being small, but sometimes I just wish a few centimeters more make all the difference. What am I saying? And as always, you only hear what you want to hear. And now it's time to put in the stakes, just to make sure my little house doesn't fly away. By the way, different subject. You know what I love about Portugal? Also, the weather. It's October. It's almost, I think, 6 p.m. I'm in a shirt. I'm not cold at all. It was sunny all day. Don't get me wrong, it rained crazily last week, like almost the entire week. But you also have like days like this. I mean, it's cloudy now and it's getting dark. But before, the sun was out, it was gorgeous, and I think all the people that live in a really rainy area, I think kind of understand that it just, you know, brings the mood down sometimes when you have the grey skies, the rain, the cold, and I feel so much more comfortable in a area that has that type of climate. I mean, we still get the seasons change, we still have fall and winter of course, but it looks way different than back home. So yeah, small appreciation for Portugal. So I'm gonna call it a day. Tomorrow I will put the tarp, the plastic on top. I will also, well, I have to buy them first, but put 4 wooden posts, I think here, there, there and there, inside, and put some braces around the wooden post and the frame here. I think it would just give additional stability, because if I move it at the moment, it's still a bit wiggly. It doesn't move at all, of course, at the bottom because the stakes are in, and those were a really good idea. But I think in case of really heavy winds, this is just the added stability that I'm looking for. I think the winds here in this flat area should be okay. I have kind of a wall of trees here that protect me, and here it's higher up, so I think the wind might just pass over it. But of course, I don't want to risk anything. Yeah, I want this to stay for longer than just one season. So yeah, I will do that. I think that's a safe bet. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Good morning. I already put 2 of those posts in here into the ground just to give the frame a bit more stability. And of course, I cut a piece of the post in general, and I just hammered it in, and it worked quite well. So I will repeat that on the other side, and this should give the structure way more stability. So yes, for sure a good decision. I think Jack feels like helping today. Or maybe he's just chasing lizards. That's also a good job to do. For additional stability, I am putting those abraçadeiras. That's the Portuguese word. I don't even know how those ones are called in English. Yeah, I'm putting them into the post and attaching it to the frame, and it gives, you know, additional stability that the post is holding the frame even more tightly. So I think that should kind of be the setup for the side parts. I think I'm pretty happy with that. It kind of looks like the other greenhouse project that I've done. Obviously I put a lot of thought into that one, so this one is kind of a bit easier to figure out. Just the size is a bit different, of course, in the shape of it. Mine is a bit lower and a bit shorter. Yes, now the question is, how do I want the beds to look like? So far this is a 1 meter bed from each side and a small pathway of 70 centimeters roundabout. And I think I like that because, first of all, making the beds a bit bigger doesn't make that much sense because then it's almost impossible to reach over to that side. So here sometimes I just put, you know, a stone in here so I can still make a big step and still reach all the plants. But yeah, making it wider is not too much of a good idea, especially because some of the plants will, you know, grow into the pathway, like cabbage for example, or courgette or whatever I will plant in here. So I think I like the space in between so far, and I can also, you know, take my wheelbarrow in here easily, so that's also a good idea for that. And the space way for some of the plants that, you know, I will take into pots over winter into the greenhouse, I think that's a nice space as well to have, you know, some pots around here and still have space to walk. So all those aspects considered, I think that's a wise decision for my project. So I went into my shed and found some old pieces of wood and this old ladder, and it's not usable anymore, it's really not stable, but I might just use those small wooden pieces here in between to use them as the attachment piece between the wooden boards. I think that's just perfect size and I don't have to purchase a new one. Let's see if it works. Those will be the corner pieces for the beds, so I can attach the two boards together. So that's my last board for today. I have used all other boards. That was kind of the plan because I didn't know what shape I really wanted. So I'll have to go back to the shops to get another load of that, you know, really kind of cheap construction wood. The quality of the wood as well as the way that I construct is really, really simple. I don't, you know, try to make it perfect at all, like really not. Because for me the main thing is that the plants have a nice warm place in the winter time and grow really nicely. I will also not use any plastic, you know, around the wood because I want to try to use as less plastic as possible. So that also means that the wood would rot pretty quickly. So that's why the effort that I'm putting in now is just according to that longevity that I will have or not have. So yeah, last board for today, and then I think I'll make a big lunch break and probably continue tomorrow. Perfecto. So what do you think about this setup so far? Would you do the same, or would you have any other ideas how to do it? I'm pretty pleased at this stage. I have an idea for later as well. Here will be a small, you know, potting station. I found this old, you know, piece of door, I think it was, which I'm going to use as a table. And here I will put some shelves where I can then put the seedlings and everything. So I think this area, excuse me, this area will be, you know, for potting and the seeds, the seedlings. In the middle, I'll do just like I did in the other greenhouse, do a small centerpiece where, for example, the tomatoes or any, you know, really high climbing plants can go, because that's of course the highest peak of the greenhouse. So just a small area right here, and I really enjoyed the smaller, like less wide pieces as well. In the other greenhouse, just for salads or like stuff that doesn't need that much space and that you can reach really easily. And then this one is for like cabbage that grows big, that needs more space, of course intercropped with other vegetables and stuff. But yes, I'm happy so far. It takes way less time than at the other greenhouse, first of all because I have more experience, but also because I do it kind of also my way, because I know what I want to use it for, so I can decide that on the spot, which is really nice. But I've got so many learnings from the first one, so this one just goes so much quicker. Yeah, I see you probably in the next video. See you next week. Bye! So, tune in next week to see the progress on the greenhouse project. You can watch me build a potting station made out of recycled pellets and how I finish the garden beds and prepare them for the first few seedlings. See you next time. Bye!